So in today's quick tip, we're going to talk about jazz piano technique. I see a lot of videos all over YouTube and the internet. It's always about learn this lick, learn this scale, whatever, some like trick or whatnot and 3 easy steps. But nobody really talks a lot about technique. And specifically what I'm going to be talking about today is the grab technique. So a lot of students will come to Jazzedge Academy and they're pushing down on the keys. And if you push down on the keys, you're not going to be able to play fast. So let's talk about this grab technique. All right, so the first thing that you'll need for this grab technique is a super fancy tissue, just like this. Take the tissue, put it down on top of the keys like this, and all I want you to do is just literally grab that tissue off. The idea here is that you're just learning to grab at the keys versus push. If you just push on the keys, obviously you're not going to be able to grab that tissue. So just put the tissue down, go ahead and grab, just so you start to feel that grab, right? Grab at that, grab at that. Shout out to Jean Lukey for showing me this trick years and years ago. Seriously, changed my technique at the piano. I'm not going to lie. My piano technique completely changed after working with her. All right, so the first exercise that I want you to practice here is we're just going to do a descending 5-finger pattern. Now you could do this on any 5-finger pattern. I'm just choosing a C major 5-finger pattern because it's easier. And what you're going to do is you're going to just literally grab at the notes. Right? So you see how I'm grabbing at each of these notes. And if you want more detail on this, I have a whole lesson called Pain, Tension, and Technique. You can get it just by taking a look at the sheet music right there, that link, all right? So all we're doing is this grabbing down. And notice once we get to the C, on the thumb, we're grabbing in, all right? So, and the idea is that we're going to want to get to this point. Right, just being able to do that nice and fast, relax, loose. Notice my shoulders are not coming up, right? Nice and relaxed. Body mechanics are super important because if you play with bad body mechanics, you're like, doing this kind of stuff, you're just not going to be able to play all that well. All right, so on each of the notes, grab. Notice I come out and I grab in. So it's this kind of technique. I'm out and I'm grabbing in. It's not a pushing down. I'm not pushing down on the keys. I'm not doing that. My fingers are out and they grab in. Now you might have heard, oh, you don't play with your fingers out like that. Well, yeah, but that's how you start the grab. You start the grab like that and you grab in. Make sure you don't grab in too far so you're hitting your fingernail. Just grab in until you hit the pad of your finger, right? The pad of your finger. You can work through each note like that. One of the beauties of this grab technique is you can really control the instrument because now you're grabbing at those keys versus this pushing down and hitting too heavy on stuff. All right, so then the next version here is obviously going up. Now, if you try pushing at these, you're gonna get this out. And you hear how it all mushes together? But you hear the definition there? Whoops. Rather than that. You try pushing, you're doing it fast, it's not gonna sound good. So try going down, going up. Elbows. Kind of out a little bit, right? Kind of relax the shoulders, wrist, a little bit of an arc. Don't want to be playing like this. That's not going to be good. Don't want to be playing like that, right? So, want to make sure that I have a good distance from the piano. All that's covered in that pain, tension, and technique lesson. All right, so now that's grabbing at scales, okay? Now what about grabbing at chords? Well, here we go. We could do that on chords as well. Now notice what I'm doing here. Whoops. All I'm doing here is I'm just going to play just some simple chords. C major 7, D minor 7, E minor 7. I'm just going up the white keys here, all right? You can pick whatever chords you want. This is just the ones that we're going to do here. All right, so notice what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my fingers out and I'm going to grab in. Grab in. You can just hang on one chord if you want to, or we could do this exercise. And at first it's going to feel a little bit weird, right? Kind of grabbing in at those chords. Might Might even feel a little bit heavy. That's where you can start to get a little bit lighter with that. Okay, grabbing at chords. Right, so that's the second part. Just try grabbing at chords, feeling comfortable with that. And then finally, the third idea here is that we're going to grab at the chord, but we're also going to do the... So it doesn't have to be fast. But you can start to speed it up. Light, light. If you push, that's where the left hand is going to start to sound too heavy. That's where you're going to get when you start... You're going to get these like real heavy chords that's going to overpower your improvisation. It's going to sound like garbage, right? So... Control. Right? The control, that's where you're going to get with that grab technique. Right? So anyway, if you want the practice actions, you want to go through this in a little bit more detail, take a look at Jazzedge Academy /quick tips, go to the practice actions, and then I look forward to seeing you in that lesson. Remember, you can take a look at that pain, tension, and technique lesson if you want to get a little bit deeper into these techniques. I'll see you in the next quick tip.